They turned executions into entertainment, poisoned themselves without realizing it. And in some parts of ancient Rome, unwanted infants were abandoned so casually that society barely questioned it. Rome looked powerful from the outside, but behind the marble statues was a world filled with disturbing traditions most people today would never accept. Lead poisoning. Many historians believe wealthy Romans slowly poisoned themselves every single day without knowing it. Lead was used in water pipes, cooking tools, cosmetics, and even wine containers. Some sweet wines became especially popular because boiling them in lead pots changed the flavor. Over time, this may have caused memory problems, strange behavior, infertility, and serious health issues among the upper class. What makes this unsettling is how normal it became. Entire families consumed it daily, while believing it represented luxury and sophistication. Some researchers even believe lead exposure may have affected Roman politics itself. The same civilization, famous for engineering brilliance, may have unknowingly weakened itself from within. Public executions. In ancient Rome, death was not hidden away from society. Public executions were treated as large-scale entertainment events. Crowds gathered inside arenas to watch prisoners and enemies face horrifying punishments in front of thousands of spectators. Some victims were forced into staged battles they could never survive. These events were often placed between gladiator matches to keep audiences entertained throughout the day. Families attended together, including children. To many Romans, this was considered normal public culture. Imagine growing up in a society where suffering became part of everyday entertainment. And this is where the story becomes disturbing. Some executions were designed to recreate scenes from mythology, turning real deaths into theatrical performances for cheering crowds. Exposure of babies. Not every Roman child was allowed to remain with their family. In some cases, unwanted infants were abandoned outside cities, roadsides, or public areas if they were considered too sick, disabled, or difficult to raise. Fathers often held the final decision over whether a newborn would stay in the household. Some children were rescued later by strangers, while others were taken into slavery. Many never survived at all. What makes this deeply uncomfortable is how accepted the practice became in certain parts of Roman society. To many people at the time, it was viewed less as cruelty and more as a practical decision. The further you look into Roman life, the colder their world begins to feel. Gladiator blood. Gladiators became strange celebrity figures throughout ancient Rome. Crowds admired them, wealthy citizens sponsored them, and stories about their battles spread across the empire. But behind the fame was a brutal reality filled with violence and short life expectancy. Some Romans even believed gladiator blood had healing properties, especially for illnesses like epilepsy. Others collected sweat from fighters and used it in cosmetic products. What makes this disturbing is how violence and admiration became deeply connected in Roman culture. Many gladiators were enslaved prisoners forced into deadly combat, yet audiences celebrated them as entertainment icons. Ancient Rome blurred the line between human suffering and public fascination in ways that still feel unsettling today. Toilet sponges. Public toilets in ancient Rome looked very different from what people imagine today. Long stone benches were placed side by side with almost no privacy between users. But the disturbing part was what Romans used instead of toilet paper. Many public bathrooms shared a single sponge attached to a wooden stick. After being used, the sponge was rinsed in vinegar or salt water before passing to the next person. Entire groups of strangers reuse the same cleaning tool throughout the day. Historians believe this likely spread disease across crowded cities. Yet for Romans, this was simply normal daily life. The empire, famous for luxury and architecture, also accepted hygiene practices that would shock most modern societies. Slave collars. Slavery was deeply woven into everyday Roman society. Enslaved people worked inside homes, farms, mines, workshops, and dangerous construction projects across the empire. Some were forced to wear metal collars around their necks, engraved with messages, promising rewards if they escaped. These collars treated human beings as lost property rather than people. Wealthy Roman families often depended entirely on enslaved labor to maintain their lifestyles. What makes this especially disturbing is how ordinary it became within Roman culture. Society rarely questioned the morality behind owning another person. Some enslaved workers faced severe punishment for small mistakes, while others spent their entire lives serving families who viewed them as objects instead of human beings. Animal executions. Romans did not limit arena spectacles to humans alone. Massive public events were organized where exotic animals from across Africa and Asia were displayed and killed in front of cheering crowds. Lions, bears, elephants, crocodiles, and countless other creatures were brought into arenas simply to demonstrate Rome's power and control over nature. Some emperors reportedly hosted celebrations where thousands of animals died within days. To Roman audiences, these events represented strength and entertainment. The more rare the animal, the greater the excitement. Historians believe certain species populations may have declined because of this obsession with spectacle. Rome transformed living creatures into symbols of domination, and the crowd celebrated it without hesitation. Strange medical treatments. Ancient Roman medicine could sometimes feel more frightening than the illnesses themselves. Certain treatments involved dangerous chemicals, animal waste, or unusual ingredients people believed carried healing powers. Some doctors recommended mixtures made from crushed animal parts, oils, or strange herbal combinations with little understanding of infection or disease. Surgery existed, but without modern anesthesia or proper sterilization, even simple procedures carried serious risks. Yet despite this, Roman medicine was still considered advanced for its era. That contrast is what makes it so unsettling. A civilization capable of massive engineering achievements still relied on treatments that sound deeply disturbing today. And Roman dining culture revealed another strange side of their obsession with excess: elite feasting. Wealthy Romans held enormous feasts designed to display status, luxury, and power. Tables were filled with expensive meats, exotic animals, seafood, fruits, and endless cups of wine, while servants moved constantly around the room. Some banquets lasted deep into the night, as guests competed to impress one another with wealth and excess. Roman luxury culture became so extreme that stories spread for centuries about people overeating simply to continue feasting longer. Whether every story was true or not, Roman society clearly admired excess on a massive scale. Behind the elegant decorations and golden dining halls was a culture obsessed with indulgence, while poverty and slavery existed just outside palace walls. Funeral actors. Funerals in ancient Rome could become strange public performances, especially for wealthy families. Some households hired actors to wear wax masks shaped like dead ancestors and imitate their voices or movements during funeral processions. Crowds watched as figures resembling the dead walked silently through Roman streets beside the coffin. The goal was to display family history, status, and legacy to the public. But to modern eyes, the practice feels deeply unsettling. Death in Rome was often transformed into spectacle rather than private mourning. Violence became entertainment, luxury became obsession, and even funerals became performances. Behind the beauty of the Roman Empire was a society that slowly normalized cruelty, excess, and human suffering until it became part of everyday life. Which of these Roman traditions disturbed you the most? And do you think people living today are normalizing things future generations may one day see as horrifying too? Comment down your thoughts below. And if you enjoy dark mysteries and unexplained stories like this, consider subscribing to Dark Uncovered for more videos.